Another live stream. It's another day, another stream. We've got all messages on. Not that that helps me a lot when I'm driving, but we'll see what we can do. So we're going to head off straight away. We're here at Texaco. We're just fueled up. Not too bad of fuel prices as it has been. So that's a little bit of good news at least. And I'm going to now have to try to drive home, trying to remember the route, which it's been a little minute since I've driven it, to be fair. I don't think it's too complicated, just keep going straight here until I get to where I'm going. Although, is this road closed? Oh my lord, do not tell me that this is closed already before we've even got started. Hi Ellie, sorry it's a late one. Obviously I'm on the drive back. Oh my god. Okay, we have, no, is this, wait. It says road ahead closed. Oh, which one? The one to the left. I think the one to the left is closed, right? So I can go through here. Whoa, my lords. What is going on here? I see, they just changed this road. Oh, that's lucky. Oh, I was worried then for a second. Hi, Kiona. How have you been? It's good to see you in the chat. And is that Dave I see as well? Hi, Dave. Good to see you. I hope everyone's doing well this evening. I am a little bit in a funky mood. Just, it's been a lovely day, but leaving Fluff is hard. Hi, Fluff. I see you in. So I'm going to have to leave all the modding to you, Fluff. You will have to unmod any chat that needs unmodding, time out anyone who needs timing out, and doing all that biz. I'm in your capable hands. Safe hands, of course. There we go. I've already got a bit of modded chat. I think that the problem is, even if Fluff unmods it, I don't think I can see it. So I don't know if you can like copy it back in if it's something I need to see, Fluff. If you think I'm missing a part of a conversation, and just let me know what the modded chat was. Leo's in too. Hi Leo, good to see you. Nice to see so many familiar faces straight away like this. And Sparker too. Hi Sparker. Not leaving it to the last second today, I see. Very nice. Ellie saying you can. I don't know if I can, to be fair, because I've gone in before and she's already unmodded things and I haven't been able to see them until I look at it. Hi Rach, good to see you too. Wow, we have so many people in. That's amazing. It's great to have you all here. It really is. That's already brightened my mood, to be fair. Whoops, sorry Sparker. Playing your cover already. Oh, it's the second Sienna. Fair enough. You can handle that one right then. Fluff. Oh dear. You can tell me all about it. Like, well, I suppose I can see later, but yeah, I don't think I'll be bothered. Back down to 30. Ooh. Yeah, 158.9 is the going rate around here. I think if I got all the way to the Asdas, which I don't think it would have worked, I don't think I could have got up to SWAD on the amount of fuel I had left in my tank. I think I could have got the best deal at 157.7 for my diesel. The 1.2 pence per litre, I don't think was going to make a huge dent in it, and I didn't stress. And I wanted to get the stream started as soon as possible, which was going to happen once I was topped up. So yeah, just topped up at Texaco, which is much closer, and then got on with it, which is not bad. 158.9 is probably 10 pence cheaper roughly than what I paid on the last fill up, because it has been a minute, just because I've been parked at Fluff's for so long and not been driving the van. Oh, see you Leo, enjoy your tea, I hope it's a good one. Oh, is that Sue in? Is Sue here? Hi Sue, good to see you. Hope you've had a nice day. must stay under the speed limit. We have the speed cameras. I think it's 30 here. I'm going to be honest, I'm not really sure. It could be 40. But I've got nobody up behind me, so it makes me think it is actually 30. It'd be mental to have a road like this with driveways as 40, but they do that quite a lot, which is really weird. It's nice to see you lot all talking amongst each other, yourselves, which is great. Are you talking to me there, Kiona, or somebody else? But it's nice to have you here, Kiona. It's been a little while. I did finally respond to your email. I don't know if you saw my response. I apologise for the immense delay in getting back to you. As you can imagine, what we've taken care of Fluff and everything, it's emails have not been something I've been on top of at all. Among a few other things as well. Well, it is lovely to have you here, Ken. It really is. Well, that's it. You know worse than me, Ken. I was telling. Whoa, is that one? Oh, I thought I said. No, wait, is that 162.9? Oh, that's not better. That's worse. It was 158, wasn't it? So I'm still used to being 168 everywhere, and I was about to say that's a really great price, but it's not. It's actually 4 pence a litre more expensive than what I paid. Excuse me, got a little bit of a yawn going on. That calls for the first whisper, I think. I have bought supplies because I'm fully aware that I've got a long drive ahead. It's quite late, and although I've had a nap today and I've been trying to get my sleep in, I want to be fueled up while I'm doing this drive. I will be honest. Better safe than sorry. So if you hear a little bit of a rustling noise, don't worry, it's just me fueling up with a whisper bar. I nearly forgot that I had to push the clutch in and change gear then. I'm so used to driving Fluff's automatic car. Yes, Rach, I am working tomorrow, which is why I'm heading to home territory. I'll be honest, only two things could get me away from Fluff, really, and that's the need for money, so I have to work. Got to be a responsible adult after all, and seeing my boys. Those are the two things. Well, I guess maybe an emergency with family in some way that absolutely required my presence, which would be very, very unlikely. But yeah, so I'll be working, then I'll see my boys for a bit, and I'll be straight back here to see Fluff on next weekend. Like mines, Ellie. Like mines. I do really enjoy a Whisper. I quite like a Whisper Gold as well, but that takes a bit longer to put in my mouth and swallow, which means I can't chat so easy. Oh, Keanu sent a long one. I'm not going to be able to read that all, but I'll do my best. Are you off to the airport? I see. I'm not sure why, and that's about to disappear, but yeah, I hope you. If you're travelling anywhere, I hope you have a nice travel, Kiona. Oh, there you go. That's the Asda. We're going by that. 157.7, cheapest price around. Not bad, that. Considering considering how much I was paying at one point, that feels a lot better. It's still quite high though. I'd like to see it come down another 20 pence a litre, and we're back to some sort of semblance of, like, I wouldn't call it normal. I feel like it's still expensive, but I mean, you want your parents to get a dog, Ellie? Oh. What kind of reasoning have you used so far to convince them to get you a dog? What's been your tactics so far? Sparker's right, of course. A dog is a lot of responsibility and a lot of work. Oh, Fiona's off to Mexico. Really cool. Oh, the chat is flying. I am sorry, people. I am not going to be able to respond to everything in there, but I'm hoping that anything I do miss isn't hugely important and that you're all talking amongst yourselves. I'll probably be questioning you all about everything tomorrow when I see you again, or whenever you're in. I mean, those aren't the most convincing arguments, to be honest, Ellie. Obviously, they'd want you to look after it, and I think you've shown enough responsibility they could believe that you would. But you've got to give them a reason why a pet dog is a good idea. Like, for instance, you know, it's good for mental health and things like that, and it's a good excuse for you to get out and have some exercise, like, you know, short walks and stuff. Hi, Gracie. I see you're in. It's very interesting driving. Yeah, straight over this one. Yeah, it's interesting driving the van now that it's been a couple of weeks since I've driven the van, basically, and I've been driving Fluff's car instead. And the drive feels almost alien, but in a really familiar kind of way. It's very hard to explain, but it does feel very weird, but also like I'm not having all my muscle memory is still there, basically. So everything feels familiar because, like, I don't have to think about it, but I have an awareness that it all feels different. Well, you've spent all evening on YouTube, more than likely, Gracie. So I'm not surprised you have a lot that you haven't got done. So I'm probably, somebody's probably already asked you, but I've probably missed it. Great, Ellie. What kind of dog are you thinking of getting? Any particular breed? Or I saw someone mentioning about a rescue. I don't know if that's what you're. Excuse me. If you're thinking about getting a rescue or not. Hey, DJ Travis. Hi, how are you doing, Travis? Hope you're well. And Mr. Friends. We are heading back to home territory, Mr. Friends. Back to Stopfold, in fact, is the exact target for this evening's drive. So I'm feeling like it's going to be roughly a 2-hour drive. Kind of depends on how fast I'm going along the motorway, in all fairness. The majority of the drive is along the motorway, and it's unlikely to be busy. It's mostly just a case of how, sort of focused I am on the drive, and how sort of what kind of cruising speed I choose. I love this junction. They take you off here so you don't have to deal with a roundabout in order to basically join back on. And it's also, you're not filtering, you're just joining into like a new lane, which is quite good. I think the downside is the two lanes do turn into one up here, if I remember rightly. I can't remember actually. Yes, they do. Not so good that, but still meant I didn't have to slow down for a junction, which is really cool. Similar thing here with the lights, kind of separated it out quite well. I guess I only get stopped there if someone's pulling out from the side road. Sorry guys, I'm not in the chat much. I've just asked Ellie something as well and then not been able to look at the response. Lots of junctions have appeared up and I've had to pay attention to what I'm doing. So straight over again. Yeah, me and Fluff are trying to keep our spirits high. We're thinking about when we're going to see each other next, rather than the fact that I'm leaving, which is an awful thing to be happening, to be honest. But we've had so much time together, it has been rather wonderful. Unexpected, and not in the best of circumstances, I must admit, but it has been wonderful spending so much time with her. And, I have been doing work and stuff, but obviously I've pretty much had some time off at the same time. Woof, where am I going? I just saw stuff about the motorway on the sides, but it was so quick I didn't really see. I don't think I'm at the junction yet where I go off from the motorway, am I? M1 North there? I must be there or close. I'm a bit worried. Is this the M1? Am I above the M1? Am I supposed to be going down this? I think so. Yeah, I'm going to go round. I feel like I'm on... there we go, M1 South. There we go. We see a sign. Let's wait for M1 South. Excellent. True, Mr. Friends, we'll be together again soon. Ooh, 2 days till holiday time, Travis. That sounds cool. I'm now starting back on a week where I've got my normal 5 days and it's going to be through 30 plus degrees Celsius again. So I've got to try to get to work nice and early in the mornings, so I'm finished early sort of afternoon. Maybe on the best days I can finish in the morning even. I mean, that's going to take me really kind of pushing hard. To be fair, I had a cold a little while ago. I feel like I'm 100% now. However, it's been a few weeks since I've done window cleaning and done the exercise that involves. I could well be a little bit out of shape with it and I might struggle. But I might find that, a few weeks off has just rested up my muscles and I actually get out there flying, who knows. Sorry, Ellie, I've just seen you, so I keep missing your response. I've got a long straight road bit here. Send it now, and I'll see it. Quickly, copy paste, send it. I've got the cruise control on. Now I'm starting to worry that I've missed my turn. Because why would the M1 north and south be so separated? Well, mind you. Sinnope. Do I even recognise this? I think I do. Oh my lord, my brain. I mean, I haven't seen another sign for the M1 south, so I don't know if this looks really like. This is the bit that is. I think I'm supposed to be here. This is just a bit of a weird bit that I just don't always pay attention to. I guess Ellie didn't get that copied and pasted in, so I didn't really see a response yet. Yeah, I live in this van all the time, Travis. To be fair, like sometimes I'm up with Fluff, sometimes she's down with me in the van. It's it kind of depends on what the mood takes and what we want to do and stuff like that. I think Fluff is as comfortable in the van as I'm in her room, so it's all good in her home. It is a bit of a weird thing now, spending time in somebody's, like, well, in Fluff's home, and I haven't done that for quite a time, really. Spent sort of like, even when I was stopping at my parents' place, like, I don't really feel super welcome, so I don't generally like go in and do much of that, but I've kind of almost pretty much made myself at home at Fluff's house this last couple of weeks, and yeah, it's been rather nice, but also quite a strange feeling getting used to living in bricks and mortar again. It's all right, Ellie. I'll tell you what, Ellie, we'll talk about it tomorrow, because obviously I'm not doing that well with the chat. I'll be honest, there's loads of people in, which is fantastic, but I'm just like not obviously following the chat that brilliantly, so I'm kind of just talking about my own stuff and like spitting out what's in my brain today. Hi Noah, good to see you. Oh, so you're going for a German Shepherd who is a rescue. Is that the answer? A 2-year-old. Ah. Okay. Although I've got a bit of time, we can stop at lights, so I can actually look at some chat. We will stop here when they asked us to. So, so that's pretty cool. A 2-year-old German Shepherd male rescue. That's cool. So, so you have one. I bet he is cute. Yeah. I do like a German Shepherd. They used to have a German Shepherd. Well, I used to work at the local shop when I was in my teenage years. They didn't treat it very well, I will be honest. They didn't walk it, and it was always stuck up in this little spot up there. It was not very humane, and I didn't really like that they did that with it. It was a nice dog though. It had a nice attitude, very friendly. Travis saying hates dogs. I mean, I guess each is. You're welcome to that feeling about dogs, I guess. I mean, I've met plenty of people who are terrified of them or do hate them and stuff like that. So yes, it's I suppose they're a bit like Marmite sometimes. All right, take care, Ellie. Good night. I'm guessing I'm straight over. I have not been paying attention. I do recognise the KFC and the McDonald's. I feel like this is the legit. Yeah, M1. There we go. It's still got signs. They don't put the signs before the roundabout. They put it on the exit off, and I'm like, that would be useful to know beforehand, so I know which way to indicate. Surely. He was bitten by a dog. I see. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, my sister, when growing up, she got bit by a dog, and she was terrified of them. I don't know if she still is. I think she kind of slowly got over it a little bit, but she's not comfortable around them. She has cats now. She's definitely a cat person rather than a dog person. I mean, I don't mind either. I mean, I don't think I've ever been super into having either one, and obviously being allergic to them is not helpful. Although admittedly, my allergies haven't been too bad this last sort of week. I have noticed, like, little itches here and there. If I've had contact with like their fur a little bit more than I should have, but for the most part, it's not been too difficult to keep things at bay. As long as you keep the the house tidy and clean, I think it's actually okay. Thankfully, it's a very mild allergy. Oh, I don't know if I can agree with that, Travis. I mean, is it worse than it used to be? Probably. But I couldn't say that KFC is crap. I mean, it depends on the KFC for sure. I've been to some where it's just bad. And yeah, that's true. I think some of them are, but some of them are pretty decent. And I think it's dependent. Hi, so bye, Rach. You take care. Have a good night. Thank you for popping in. It's always appreciated to see you here. I do love having some of the OG crowd in. I'm no longer confident that I'm still heading for the M1. No, I must be. It's all straight roads. I saw some a little while ago. Yeah, I don't know. I keep feeling like I'm going to miss a turn, but I think that's just me. Yeah, no, here's the sign for M1. That's fine. I'm still on the A511. That's which way. Oh no, I recognise this junction. Yeah, I recognise this junction. Yeah, that's good. That's good. A junction I actually recognise, which is mildly surprising at this point. Fantasy is in. Hi, Fantasy. All is well, mate. All is well. I mean, the good news is Fluff is on the mend, well enough that I feel comfortable to leave her in the hands of relatives. Excuse me, the hands of like relatives to look after her a little bit. Hopefully her boys will behave and not cause her too much grief, and her work has definitely been very understanding about this. And I will say the Fluff's co-workers are an incredible set of people. If any of them are ever watching, oh my lord, especially her like the head teacher at her school and that, just like we need more schools like this, honestly, and more people working in them like her and her co-workers and that. It's just ridiculously good. It like gives me hope for the educational system. I must say, it really does. I will note like the back of my hand eventually, Fluff. I think one of the things is sometimes I'm not always paying attention because I'm streaming. Like this bit I recognise. There's just that chunk where I don't recognise it. And I think partly it's to do whether it's night or day as well. So, and which direction I'm coming. And the thing is, I don't always come the same way. That's one of the weird things. So I haven't gone this route every time I'll come back and forth. Sometimes I go around near Derby on the A50, and sometimes this is the quickest way. So it's yeah, it's a bit of a hit and miss with that. Right, this way to the M1, looks like it. This one I recognise. Yeah, I think it's such an amazing place to work, Fluff. Really, it's. I think it's one of these things. It's a reminder as well. This is a good topic for just a bit of chit chat. While I can't really look at like the stream too much, and I can just talk about what's in my head. It's a very good topic. It's very easy to assume from your quite limited, if you think about it, perspective, that the whole of something is quite bad. So like, I've only been to school at a handful of schools in this country, but yet it's made me feel like the school system is broken. And sure, I can add to that the stories I've heard from other parents in the local area, but in reality, no matter how many people I've actually talked to, even including Fluff and her at school, and like I've talked to people who like, there was a person who worked in the local area with many schools, like across several counties. Anne Eady was her name. She was the one who basically came in to sort of like assess Henry for like where he needed to, and like she was the one who recommended he goes to the CDC to get diagnosed when he was diagnosed with ASD and stuff like that. She's saying how like this particular, like the particular preschool he was at was amazing, and you could kind of tell from what she said about some other places that there were some pretty bad places as well, and so there's a bit of a spectrum to it. And obviously I would say the preschool they went to was amazing, sort of level, but I'm told now that it's not to that level anymore, and they've lost a lot of the good staff, and it's no longer the same as it used to be, which is a bit of a shame. But basically my point is this, is I only have a small little snapshot of the overall system, and sometimes it's quite easy to just have overarching sort of like, or overreaching, I say would be the better words, opinions on something where you don't really have the data to back it up. And I think we could all be a little bit guilty of this in some ways, where we think just because what we've seen is a certain way, we think everything else is. And this is a strong reminder, like seeing like how good Fluff is and how good her whole school is, that there are good schools out there, and it's not necessarily the system that's broken so much as just isolated pockets that aren't working that well. And sometimes that's down to individual issues rather than the whole. Because I look at that and go, well, that's surely evidence that, you know, if you can have one school that's working that well, why couldn't you have more? Like, what is it that they're doing that's so different compared to everybody else? And why isn't that getting emulated? Because it shows that it must be possible within the current system. I mean, they seem to have more flexibility than I thought with how they do things. We're lacking signs again, but unless I mean, if I'm off track now, it's only just happened, but it just doesn't feel like I'm off track. It's so weird how M1 North had a different sign, but I'm guessing they wanted to angle you up northwards a bit rather than keeping you going directly to the east like this is. Oh, half a mile to the M1. Here we go. Yes. This is good. This is good. Yeah, I think the change of the website probably didn't help, did it? Hey! No, I was referring to the fact that I designed a website for them. So when my boys were at the preschool, they had a website. This is an interesting story, actually. They had a website, and they were being charged like not a huge amount of money, but a yearly kind of amount, and they. So I'm on the right junction, but this does not look familiar at all. So yeah, so but it was like, it wasn't a full website, it was part of somebody else's domain, which meant that when this company that was running it, they kind of went under. I don't know if they just stopped operating or if they went bankrupt, whatever happened, they stopped operating, and it meant that their whole entire website just disappeared overnight. It just went, boosh, gone. And they were busy trying, and I was there for something like something to do with Henry, I think it was, and they were looking around to see what options they had, and it was going to be quite expensive, and they couldn't, and they were trying to look at different options. I was like, and I sort of offered to them. I said, look, for the same money you were paying before, I could personally just set you up a website, because you've not got a complicated website, and it could be your own domain, so you wouldn't have to deal with anything. And I set up on Noah's hosting, because Noah does like hosting and that. And yeah, I just designed them a nice little website. It wasn't amazing, because I'm not exactly pro at it, but I could do it on the cheap for them. And it was a nice looking website, to be fair, considering what kind of materials they gave me to be able to put on it. It was really nice. Better probably than most of the little preschools and the schools around. I mean, I might be biased, I suppose. But yeah, eventually, like, they did sort of give that one up and change it. I'm not quite sure why. But I made it so they could update it all themselves and stuff, and I don't know why they decided against it. Yeah, it was a terrible setup. It felt really dodgy. Like, they were probably just trying to fill up their domain that they're probably paying just a minimal hosting on, with as many websites as possible and charging as much money. It just seems like a way to just grab lots of like insignificant amounts of money and create like a fair bit of revenue. Enjoy your KFC, Gracie. It's a bit late in the night for a KFC though, I will say. I mean, I'll take that now. I'm fully aware that it'll probably take you less than a day to punch out something multiples better than what I did for them, but at the same time, they got cheap value out of it because I didn't charge them for the time on it. I just had learned how to do my website, and I thought, you know what, I can just put something together, and I put a couple of days of effort into it, and I was like doing it out of kindness of my heart, really, and I just had them paying enough to cover the domain and a little bit of time if I needed to update anything. Caution queue down to 40, and I'm like, really? And nobody's paying attention to that. It's like middle of Sunday night. That doesn't sound legit at all. And these people always fib on this stuff. I'm assuming that Travis is saying it's dangerous reading the phone. I don't read long texts. It's about as much as looking down to look at my speedometer, but because I'm on cruise control, I don't have to look at my speedometer. But I will miss a lot of chat. Gracie, you're filling up the chat. You're going to get timed out in about a very short period of time if you keep filling it up. Do bear in mind, Fluff is on the mod for me. So she if either one of us starts feeling like it's a bit much, I want to be able to read everyone else's chat. And as just pointed out by Travis, I can't exactly read every bit of chat. I have to pick and choose my moments to look down. Thankfully now on the motorway, all I have to do is focus on being in lane, with the odd kind of change lane when there's a lorry ahead like there is now. Well, I'm technically hands-free, Travis. I don't know if there are any specific laws against looking down at a device. I'll be honest, I'd be looking at my phone for sat-nav if I didn't know the way. Quite often I'd just have a sat-nav on. If I didn't have you guys to talk to, the sat-nav would be on. I'd be looking down on that almost constantly, looking at what's ahead on the road. And I'd be looking at like other dials. You know, you could be looking at your radio, changing a channel. I mean, there's all sorts of things to look down at. You just don't look down for long. It's the same sort of process. You know, I'll just have a little glance just to see. Oh, this guy cutting a little bit early. He looks much further away on the screen than he actually is. Alright, enjoy your shower now. We switched from KFC to Mackey's, have we, Gracie? I mean, I think none of that's happening, I'll be honest. Oh dear. M1 and the South London, there we go. We're still on nice track here. Ooh, more signs for a Burger King now. And a KFC. And a Starbucks. But I wouldn't have the Taco Bell. The other three though. Not this time of night though. I get what you mean, Sparker. I will admit, I kind of didn't know what he was talking about, the grey text. I don't know if he meant in the chat or something. And the other stuff, he was just talking about the website hosting, which made more sense to me because I know what he's talking about. It's a bit hard to get if you don't know exactly what we're talking about. Taco Bell ruins you to the lavatory. Oh my lord. TMI, Travis. What a hey. No lorries for a little while. I'm going to turn the heat up. It's getting a bit cold in here. Yeah, put that on my feet. Oh yes. I'm in shorts and t-shirt, you see, because it was quite warm when I left. I've had the aircon on, it's gone way too cold, so now I've got to just adjust it. It's still 20 degrees outside, but you know, I don't need aircon on. That's crazy. We have a Dave James saying, what's going on here? Just a little drive in the van. Fluff said she's not techie either, but yeah, that could be read as tetchy or teachy. Oh, that's better. Nice and warm on the legs. I'm not gone crazy with it though. It's quite a relaxing drive actually, just getting out for a nighttime drive. I sometimes, before I'm doing the drive, I think to myself, oh my lord, I can't be bothered with this long drive, like what hassle. But then when I'm doing it, it's actually not that bad. At a nighttime one like this, it's very relaxing, very calming. I like that. Hey, Bold is in. Hi, Bold. Travis, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. My fuel economy in this van is low as muck. I think I'd be lucky to be getting 25 miles to the gallon, probably be getting more like 20. I mean, it's bad. Thankfully, the prices have come down a bit, but at their peak, when I was paying around about 190 for diesel per litre, it was costing about 70 quid to get from where I am to where Fluff is and back again. She did the same thing in her car and it cost about 20 quid. So, and she's diesel as well, mind you, so. But that probably give you a sense of like the fuel economy in this beast of a van. Because it is essentially fully loaded at all times, like give or take a little bit. It's like, I don't think this van is ever less than 3 tons. It's rated for 3.5 tons, and I don't think I'm ever driving it below 3. Because by the time you put in all, like, you know, all the fixtures and fittings, you know, you've got a fridge in the back, the fridge freezer that's quite weighty, a stove, you've got, like, you know, the kitchen worktop and units and stuff take a lot of weight on, and then you've got, like, you know, the bed is made up and stuff, and then you've got water tanks, which if they're full is pretty much a quarter of a ton in their own right. I mean, it all just adds up. You've got myself in here, you've got the fuel, I mean, it all adds up, and suddenly you've got like a very heavy vehicle, which, let's face it, is not the most aerodynamic either. Yeah, the fuel economy sucks. Has it saved money you get in? That is a good question. I was trying to think this through. I think missing the week, maybe yes, it saved me probably 70 driving to and from. That might be true. Because I would have done one trip back and forth already. Although, if I'd stuck to the thing where I was going to do 2 weeks in a row, that would have saved me the same. I would have been able to just do the one trip back, do all my work, 2 weeks, and then drive back. That would have still been one drive. And it did occur to me that I could potentially work around to do that, where I could see my boys one weekend, do 2 weeks of work, see my boys again, then come up and see you for 2 weeks, and then come back, and that would actually save me half the money, because I would be able to do it in like basically one trip per month, essentially, there and then for one and then half a month and back for half a month. It's basically, rather than doing the trip twice a month, it's once a month. I think that's basically how that works out. However, that means a long time away from you and 2 weeks in a row of working. I mean, there's ups and downs to that. Gracie, I'm not reading all your chat. You've got too much chat in there. Please slow down and stop filling up my chat with things. Give other people a chance to say stuff. This is true. You could come to see me on the weekend in between. That's yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that. That could work. But being away from you for a long time does feel like very difficult. And also just doing 2 weeks of work in a row, I quite like my week off. So it occurred to me a while ago, and I was thinking about it, and I'm not really sure, because there's other things to think about, like, do I want to continue doing the window cleaning? I have options to do other kind of work, and I could relocate that towards you so that I don't have to keep doing it. We had talked about the idea that if I was based more where Fluff lives, I'd only have to drive down to see the boys, and that could be done in the car rather than in the van, and that would be a lot cheaper. So that would be twice a month, but only like 20 quid a pop. So not even that, to be honest, because it's a bit closer than the rest of the area. It's like the nearest part to here. So yeah, I that would be probably like a super cheap option as well. Probably the cheapest. And to be fair, the window cleaner was only ever going to be a temporary thing. I don't want to be a window cleaner for the rest of my life. I'm not sure of the distance. It's about a 2-hour drive, give or take, depending on where I need to be. So it does depend a little bit on where I'm working, because obviously I just park up where I'm working, Travis. So I move around. I don't park up in the same spots. Well, I park up in the same spots usually, but like it's like there's like a dozen or more of them, like all in different areas depending where I work. Do I get withdrawals from seeing Fluff? Absolutely. She's like a drug. I'll be jonesing for a fix. I'm already am, to be honest. I need a fix of my Fluff already. Yeah, I'll be figuring it out soon enough, I reckon, Fluff. I just need time to think on it all, I suppose. Oh, this time of night, and we've got 2 lanes of lorries. What is occurring? Honestly, it's a bit ridiculous. Well, there was a bit of code there. He was giving the guy in front of him a flash as if to say, "What are you doing?" And he's giving him some sort of code back saying, "I'm carrying on, mate. I don't know what you're telling me to do." don't see any more lorries up ahead. I'm going to go for the left-hand lane. Well, it's getting too warm now. Let's turn that down a bit. Dave asking what van I have. It's a Peugeot Boxer. It's like the kind, it's called a maxi mover. It's the kind that they use for like moving, like a moving van. So it's quite big. It's like a Luton box thing. And yes, I did convert it all myself. I don't know what that was supposed to say. I've got is I've gore, and that's it. I'm like, what? So that's a good question, Bold. I actually work for my parents these days. The story is quite long, but I'll give it a quick synopsis on it. Back in the noughties, around about 2004, I think it was, I started working for another window cleaner, and very quickly worked out that I could do it for myself and that I could do it better than he did, and I could actually probably start hiring other people in as well, which is what I did. After a couple of months or so of working for him, I decided to go out on my own. I knocked on houses, asked people if they wanted a window cleaner. I dropped plenty of quotes into people's houses and figured out how to basically build up a window cleaning round, which I did. And once I had full round, I hired in I contracted in somebody to cover that round, and I built up another one that I covered myself. And once that was full, I did the same thing again, and I kept doing it until eventually I had canvassers on full time working for me who were building up work. I had, I think I had basically 12 full rounds covered by 12 cleaners and one relief cleaner whose job was just to cover the slack between those 12 rounds. And to take on like any new work that needed to be covered and stuff like that. And I was actively building rounds up with the canvassers out there, and like I think basically every sort of 2 or 3 months at that point was the expectancy that I'd have another round built and I would then get a new cleaner on, and that was kind of the level I'd got it to. But it was very stressful, and I had a lot of health issues, and so I decided to sell the business. I sold it to my parents. They now run it, and I just do the window cleaning part-time. It's a good way to stay fit. I earn enough money just to cover all my costs and a little bit extra for some spending. Yeah, it's all good. So, oh man, these speed limits, why? But these are proper ones, I have to follow them. It's really annoying. There's zero reason for them. Go back to National, there won't be a single reason to have done it. But yeah, I hope that answers your question about the window cleaning side of things. So it's pretty flexible work. If I need to take time off, I just let them know. If I want to do extra work, I let them know. And the pay is pretty good, and like I say, it's a very active job. It's outside, which I like. Get over this lane here. Everyone seems to be ignoring this lane as if it doesn't exist. I can see all these lorries up here, all in the second lane. Like, oh well, actually they're closing this one in 400 yards. Fair enough. That'd be why everyone's just got over quickly. Let's just go over now. Yeah, there are definitely worse jobs out there to have. I think window cleaning is a bit of a dark horse in terms of work. So there are a lot of jobs out there that don't have great job security. You know, you could be working for a company for, decades, building up what you think is a lot of loyalty and security, and then that company could lose a big client, go under, and suddenly you're out of a job. Now with the window cleaning, that can happen if you're in the commercial side of things, because you have big clients worth a lot of money, and one shift can really mess things up. But in the residential side of things, which is what I cover, you have loads of customers, none of which is a deal breaker. If I lost 1 in every 10 of the customers that we have, it wouldn't end anything. You just have to quickly build them back up. And back in 2008 to 2009, when we were going through the big crunch and everything, I remember I doubled the size of my business during that year. And albeit it was quite small, I think we went from 2 to 4 cleaners at that time or something like that. It was a bit crazy to think that it was that easy to build them up even in such bad times. I mean, to be fair, there were years where I didn't really build it as much as I could do because I couldn't get canvases on and I was struggling to deal with stuff. But, at the end there, it was growing very well. I had it basically self-funding, so profits from the business were going into fueling expansion. It's very good. And it was expanding very well. Just the hardest thing was actually hiring good guys, like finding good people to work for me and get them on and get them trained. And like you could hire a person and you'd think, oh, they're going to appreciate this job. Like I had people working on basically like minimum wage, or there were some people who were doing night shift, for instance, at minimum wage times whatever, like that they had to get paid for the night shift stuff, and they hated the work. It wasn't good money, it was a struggle, and the job was like something they hated doing. And when I said to them, look, you could earn X amount per hour basically if you just get out there and work it yourself, and you won't have a boss breathing over your neck, you have flexibility. Like there was one chap who was basically in that sort of situation, and him and a friend had applied for the job, and he'd actually found it, applied, and then told his friend, and his friend applied. I gave his friend the job because his friend had availability straight away. He had to wait like a month or so before he could work for some reason or other. I can't remember what it was. I think he just noticed on his current job, or there was some other issue. But anyway, long story short, I said to him, look, I'd give you the job as well, but I've only got one right now. But keep my number. Let me know if you definitely still want something in about a month's time. I'm building another round. Once it's ready, it's yours to take. And just basically stay in the loop of it. And eventually he came on board, gave him that round. And you would think this guy would be really grateful. He had issues with like child custody, and he wanted like references from me and stuff. And I said, yeah, sure, I can do you a reference. But it only took him about 6 months to start really resenting the job, even though he was getting paid probably 3 or 4 times the amount he was per hour compared to his old job, and he liked the work more. But it got to the point where even when I wanted to, like he'd do a bad job and I'd have to send him back, and his attitude on it was so bad, and I was like, dude, you've got to do the job well. Just keep the customer happy. And if I have to send you back on a job, it's because the customer isn't happy. And the whole point of this is to keep them happy. They're paying the bills. So, I don't know what you want, but this is the job. And he was such an attitude, he wouldn't do half the things I needed him to do. And in the end, I had to get rid of him. But yeah, them kind of stresses came along with it, and I was like, not great. I tried to be a good boss, Fluff. I honestly did. I took the responsibility of being a boss quite well. I think some people who are bosses don't really care about like the people who work for them, and the fact that those people have bills to pay, families to look after. And I was very much, that's a responsibility of mine, to make sure these guys have got work there available and they have the ability to work. And to look after them, keep them safe as best I could, made sure they were trained up and that I was on top of them for like their safety and stuff. But yeah, but they would always, there was often people just messing me around for no apparent reason. I mean, there were guys I had to fire after their first day just because they would like get AWOL and stuff like that for no reason at all and wouldn't even give any heads up about it and just like pull up some stupid stunts, honestly. This is a bit annoying. Do 50 on this bit like this. I don't think there's anybody working the other side of them cones. Oh. This person in front is not sticking to a speed. Like, pick one and stick to it, dude. Well, this guy got impatient and undertook. You're going to do undertake as well? Okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm just in the right-hand lane trying to overtake this guy who's decided to fluctuate his speed like no man's business. You see that guy? And now he's cut in front of that guy. I mean, they're all erratic as anything on here. It's well out of order. So I think I've missed a bit of chat there, guys, but I had to pay attention to the road. Just some weapons on here tonight. So this guy just to the left of me here, look, I'm gaining on him, and just as I'm about to overtake him here, now look, he's sped up again. I know, now he's slowed down again. Oh my lord. You'd think this person just didn't understand how to maintain a speed. Look at this. Are they going to let me overtake this time? I seem to get close and then they go, oh, no. And they're just trying to make, and like, why are you in that lane at all? You're not gaining on these lorries. Look, here it goes. Look. Can you just see him just hanging there? He's just trying to stay ahead of it. Oh my God. And now he's slowed down again. He's fluctuating like no man's business. I'm assuming he's texting or something. Yeah, he's got a phone in his hand or something texting, I swear. I don't know what he's doing now. He was looking down and he's just like not even paying attention to the road ahead at all. Dudes. And I've left him for dust now because I've taken my speed up quicker. Because he's here we go, national, sweet. And there is a speed camera there, but we just got to national, so we're allowed to go national, 70. There we go. I love how we're in a 50 mile an hour zone though, and I'm trying to get past this guy who was basically fluctuating at just below my speed, and the people behind decided they were going to speed past at like Lord knows what speed and undertake everybody. And one of them did it when I was signalling left, like I was going to be like, well, I'm going to get out your guys' ways because this guy's now being a pain and he's staying ahead of me, but now I couldn't go left because these guys are undertaking me. I mean, that was dangerous. I mean, I'll undertake someone when absolutely necessary, but not in a situation like that. That was so diabolical. Um, 60. So my restriction with my size. Blah, 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 let me start again. My size vehicle does have different restrictions to a car. So on a single carriageway, I'm restricted when it's national to 50 miles an hour. On a dual carriageway, my speed limit on a national piece of road will be 60 miles an hour, but then on a motorway I can do 70 miles per hour, which is why I like to do motorways on long distance journeys, because I can basically cruise at a nice high speed, and it's quite an easy drive on a motorway, to be fair. You just have to be paying attention for the lunatics and paying attention forwards, but there's not a lot of turns and junctions and things to deal with. You're just driving straight, basically. Very good question, that though. Not a lot of people realise that there's different speed limits on a national. So the national speed limit essentially changes for different vehicles. So, for instance, lorries are restricted to 60 miles an hour, even on the motorway here, which is why they're always slower than everybody else. I think they might be restricted to 40 miles an hour on a single carriageway. Oh my lord! What's this guy doing? Is this the guy who was doing it before? He's somehow got ahead of me, overtook me. I swear that's the same reg number. He's being a bit of a plonker. Oh, I know why he slowed down. He slowed down because there was a speed camera. He basically boxed me in, and he's both sort of slowed down a bit because of a speed camera. But I'm like, yeah, well, we can still do 70, guys. Come on. I don't think they were aware whether they could or not. They're not paying much attention. Yes, that's probably true. Actually, restricted to 56 miles per hour. Yes, I think I remember that being the number. You're probably well right there, Dave. Admittedly, I'm not an expert. I think basically their speed limit is 60, but obviously the vehicles themselves are probably restricted to 56. Although I wonder if they can get above that if they're going downhill, because that's just as fast as the engine will let them accelerate to. I'll be interested. I don't know how that works. So, have you driven lorries or anything like that, Dave? I'm assuming you're based in the UK like me. You seem to know a bit about the road laws. I'm guessing you've done a fair bit of driving. I don't know who you're talking to, Gracie. You seem to just be talking to thin air about the fact that you're not going to bed yet. Oh, so you're a van lifer as well, Dave? Nice. How long have you been doing it for? Personally, I've been doing it for a little over 5 years now. I started off with a family of 4 of us, so me, my ex and my 2 boys. Nowadays it's just myself. "14 years, wow. Full respect for that. I'd fist bump you through the screen, but obviously it's facing the road. And I won't be fiddling with controls to spin the camera around at the moment, so you'll have to trust me when I say you're getting a fist bump for that. That's full respect. 14 years as a van lifer. Full time, I'm assuming. You're not one of these part-timers who just does it on the weekends or something, I hope. Although there's respect on that as well, though. There's plenty of people I've met out there doing that sort of thing. On my trip across the country when I was doing a walk from London to Gloucester, I got caught out with some bad weather, and there were a lovely couple who let me stay in their van with them and heat up my foods. And they're the kind of people who do it like on the weekends and stuff. And they're lovely, salt of the earth people, and I quite appreciated how they were living their life. I thought it was really suited for them. Thank you, Fluff. Hell no, says Dave. No part-timer here, I see. Okay. So, what got you into van life then, Dave? What was your big push? There's often things like the finance, sure, but like for me, I think it was this sort of like, I've always had this bug for like stripping things down to the minimum and being sort of like mobile. When I was younger, I used to like have like, even like tiny, when I was like single digits, I'd have like a little pack that was ready to go with all the kit that I'd need to survive, and I was quite a little survivalist type thing. And then when I was in my early 20s and I was doing like couriering, I had a van, and I kind of put a futon in the back, got a generator, put a TV in there and stuff like that. And it wasn't necessarily livable, but it was a space that I could have to myself because I was living at my parents at the time. It was like a room to myself where I could park up anywhere I like and not have distractions, and I could have more privacy. And I always thought back when I was building the van to a time when my parents were looking at a VW, one of those sort of like classic sort of VW campers, when I was little, and just I remember that feeling like how cool that would be to like be mobile and living in a place like that. So yeah, I like, but it did push come to shove. The thing that pushed me into it was a bad landlord and not having enough money to get a mortgage. So wanting a place of my own but not wanting to pay out on a mortgage. Yeah, it came down to van life being an option, and then I liked the idea of the mobility of it and being able to like have the freedom. So it's pretty much the finance thing. That's fair play. That's usually at least in the mix for most people, isn't it? Realistically, are you quite now? Van life is different for different people. So are you quite a mobile person? Do you like travel the country, or do you stay fairly local to the same spots? I mostly stay in the same areas for work, and then obviously I go see Fluff. Before Fluff, I would do weekends and weeks away different places from time to time, but I just generally did it when it took my when I had the bug for it, when I had the inclination to go, I'm going to go and travel, and also had to just be careful of the money, because like traveling across the country and back again cost a lot of money in a van like this. So we're asking how long I'll be driving for. Probably another 50 minutes, give or take. We're coming up to Northampton now. I'd say in another half an hour we might be off the M1. But we've probably got another half an hour on the M1, to be fair. We'll be coming off around Milton Keynes sort of area, and then going on the 507 all the way towards Stopfolds. Alright, so this is probably a good time to talk about a topic that me and Fluff have been talking about. Seems Gracie's distracted. Now, obviously, most of the people here probably are, watching the stream and probably listening to what I'm talking about, maybe reading whatever people are writing and staying relevant and chatting in a good way. The channel has always been about a safe space for people to come and spend their time. You can talk about your day, talk about whatever is on your minds, sure. Come and chat with me and just talk nonsense, whatever we want to do. But lately, it has felt like the chat can sometimes get taken over by some proper random nonsense or drama and things that are fairly irrelevant to the stream as a whole. And so the idea going forward is try to maintain a certain amount of relevance to the topics at hand, which will change as you know, as any conversation goes. Topics change, and I might have 2-3 things in a day that I want to talk about. Going forward, when I've done the year of daily streams, I do want to have streams where we have a more specific subject, and I'll probably be more prepared about it and come in with a proper sort of like idea of what I want to talk about and all the points that I want to visit, and that'll be a very different kind of stream. I still will maybe do these types of streams where we're a bit more relaxed and we talk about what we want to talk about, but having people come in and just basically spout random nonsense like what Gracie does about, oh, I'm not going to bed at a certain time and blah blah blah, and it's like well, it's not really relevant and it's not really conversation, it's just spouting random stuff. And then you've just said it's because you weren't paying attention and you were doing something else. I think if you're not paying attention, you can just watch. You don't have to say something in chat. You should really refrain from that sort of like chat and just stick to just if you have something to say. Because let's face it, most of the time there's no expectation to have something amazing to say, but at least be relevant and have, like, you know, whether it's a question or whether it's something you're talking about. Like, obviously me and Dave now are talking about a bit of van life stuff because we're both van lifers. That's quite relevant. Travis just asking, do I like the driving? I enjoy the nighttime motorway drive. It's very calm, relaxing, there's not too much traffic. And it's a nice way to kind of clear my mind a little bit and like calm myself down. Almost like a bit of meditation in a way. It's particularly nice having you guys with me because I get to talk and it kind of like makes the trip disappear quicker. Might have noticed I like to hear my own voice. to say that about myself. I like to chat. I'm a chatterbox. It's as simple as that. And it's nice to have you guys along to chat with me. And it's nice to hear about your days and what you're up to, and meet people like Dave here, who's been a van lifer as well. And I do really enjoy actually meeting other van lifers. I think that's really cool to like hear other people's stories. Yeah, I do have solar and batteries, Dave. I've got a double-sided solar panel on the back of the van, which doubles up as a canopy. So it's on hinges and it kind of swings up, and that's like at the back, over the back door. That's most of the power. It's rated for about 500 watts. I've had it produce just a bit more than that on a very sunny day. But it's like 420 or something like that on the front side, and you've got the back side, and it's like, it adds up. Plus I have some at the side which don't really do a lot. They were a bit of an experiment for when it's winter, and I want them to be like more facing the ground, like so like at a 90-degree angle from the ground basically, so that they're facing the low sun, and that does help actually. And I've got 8 kilowatt hours of lithium battery, believe it or not, 8 kilowatt hours. It's a big one. So about a week's worth of power without solar, depending on obviously what I'm doing. What about yourself? Are you on solar and batteries, or you just? I mean, most people have the battery. Obviously, if you're travelling a lot, you don't need solar, and you can just rely on split charging from the engine. Obviously, I can charge from the engine, but I don't really need to with all the solar. There you go, Travis. That makes sense. So Travis doesn't talk too much. Hi, Teddy. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Yeah, back on the road home. Yeah, Travis is basically just getting in touch with the chat when he feels like he's got something to say. Oh, I'm going to undertake this person, probably. That's not cool, but they're just hanging around there. Oh, whatever. I'm not even going to bother. You're getting undertaken, dudes. Honestly, don't hang around in that lane. They've got people flying past him on the right. I'm just not having it. I'm going to undertake. It's just, there's too much traffic to the right to deal with it. So, Lord. I do hate a person who just hangs out in the lanes like that. Like, why? You're not even going that fast. You could so be in this lane. It's just stupid. I think that's the perfect combination, a chatterbox but an interesting one for YouTube at the very least. Stay Fluff. Enjoy your food then, Gracie. You're the kind of person who likes to listen to a conversation, Travis, rather than like say too much. It depends on the conversation for me. Like for instance, when I'm in a room with Fluff and her parents, generally speaking, her and her mum will do all the speaking, and me and her dad will do a lot of the listening. But then but then it's just me and him. Yeah, we had a bit of chit chat, both of us, and it's a fairly even conversation. You got 4,000 watt hours, okay. 250 watt panel. Oh, hold on, I've got to drive as well. I've got to do some pieces. And then 800 watts alternator charger to 4,000 watt hours EcoFlow. Oh, nice. So that's a pretty robust setup, to be fair. That's a fairly robust setup. Well, that's quite nice. You've got. I mean, it doesn't always. You don't have to have a great relationship with biological parent, I guess. If you have somebody else to stand in for that, it's pretty good. Hey, Noah's back. Hi, Noah. Yeah, I think like I've talked about this before, and life is about relationships and the connections you make, and that's what's important to make your life happy and healthy. It doesn't have to be with family, because you don't get to always pick your family, and sometimes family aren't that good. Family are not always solid. And I mean, I could tell you stories about mine, I could tell you stories about the people that I know and their families, and I've met enough people who have had issues with parents to know that you don't always get a good family. So your option always is to go and find your family, go and find a new new people to build those connections with. Not to say you should just give up on family willy-nilly, but at the same time, you know, bad people are bad people, and they're not always going to be good just because you're family. Oh, you knew your father-in-law before you knew your missus. Is that how you met her? That's quite interesting if that's the case. I'd love to hear that story sometime, but you'll have to tell me when I'm not driving, because I do struggle to assimilate information when I'm driving, to be fair, because I am spending more of my effort on the drive than anything else. And I'm coming up to my junction. I don't think it's this one, I think it's the one after. I think this is Newport Pagnell Junction for the 509. And I'm going to want the one after. Yeah, we're not far off now then. Might actually do this journey in less than 2 hours, which means it's gone quite well. God, this guy's going to get flashed by that camera. I know, he slowed down for the camera. Sneaky devil. Good night, Gracie. Well, I can see Travis telling me a lot here. I'm not managing to catch up with all this, Travis. I've got to sort of focus. There's a lot of traffic all of a sudden, and I've got to focus on my turning and stuff. So, and I'm trying to Trying to pull left here, and this guy is just hanging around behind me a little bit. There we go. It's all good now. Yeah. Oh, and then the lorry pulls out of me anyway. Well, whatever. Oh, there's a nasty smell coming in. It smells like someone's absolutely let their guts go. Very sulphury kind of smell. But it's obviously coming in from outside. That is not nice at all. No, I'm not far away from you at all, Fluff. One drive away. A drive I'm always willing to do to come and see you. You're worth every mile, every inch. Yeah, you weren't getting spammy or anything, Travis, don't you worry about that. It's just that I'm aware that I can't follow it. And I can see you're talking about something like pretty decent and important, so yeah, I just feel a bit bad not being able to read it all. Dave, yes, Fluff is my bird. How do you put it? Yeah, definitely, Travis. We can get into that another day, and I'll also be able to ask questions and stuff, and we'll be able to properly talk about that kind of thing. The driving streams are not the best place for me to have proper in-depth conversations. It's more me just like motor mouthing about my thoughts most of the time. I will be honest. I cannot lie. It's a little bit of a one-sided thing when I'm driving. Ooh. Yep, should be the next turn off, really. Next exit should be mine. There's a little bit of a distance between these two. It's always because I know one's at basically the north part of Milton Keynes, and then this one's at the south. And so I'd always think, oh, it's just one, it's the space of a town, it should be pretty quick. It's always surprisingly distant. Like there's a surprising distance between these two junctions. Here we go. In fact, I'm not sure if this is my one. Is this my one? I want that one for the 507, not the 421. That was for Bedford and Milton Keynes South. This is the one, surely. If I end up on the 421, it's not the end of the world. I will go across that way as well. It's just not the best way. Albeit it's a nicer road to drive. Like there's a bit of me that would like to go across the 421 and then go down the A1. That's like a much easier and nicer drive. The other way, it's a lot more junctions. Oh, I'd be tempted. I'd be tempted now I think about it. I'm going to turn this one anyway. I think this is a junction for both things anyway. I honestly don't think that this is a thing, but if not, then I might go to 421 anyway. It's probably going to add like a few minutes on for the drive, but oh, could I go to 421? Maybe. Oh, it's such a tempting thing. It's such a nice road to drive. But no, we'll do the 507. We'll do the 507. There we go. Decision made. I'm assuming that question is directed at Fluff about the blue eyes. And she has the bluest eyes I've ever seen in my life. If you see her profile pic, which is her eye, you might think, oh, that's a fake thing or something like that, but it's actually her eye. Crazy, I know. Yeah, we go this way. I know this road like the back of my hands, to be fair, the 507. All my work is along the 507 pretty much, in one way or another. I mean, some of it's sort of a bit away from it, but it's like the main route that I get to go up and down it. Hey, is that Dicey's 14 in? It has been a long time. Shout out to you, my friends. They're saying you're punching there, lad. Yes, you tell me about it, my man. I'm what they call incredibly lucky. I scooped up all of the luck that I had, all of it, and kept it safe, kept building it up, until eventually one day I used it up on the chance to meet Fluff, and it worked all out. I got very lucky indeed. I only take partial responsibility for you being in hospital. I think, Fluff. I will take partial responsibility, but only partial. Thank you, Dave. And what about yourself? Are you seeing anybody? I know van life can be pretty tricky with that kind of thing, but also sometimes it can how to say this? It's not the huge put off that some people might think it is. I've had no problem dating, just like in terms of being in a van, living in a van. It has not hindered my dating life at all, I don't think. But then I've met other van lifers where it's clearly a bit of a struggle for them. Just you and the cat, fair enough. And I'm guessing by that response that you like it that way. Which I can understand. I've had my fair share of bad relationships with women who lacked understanding, shall we say. There's not many of them out there that are as good as, well, there's none like Fluff, to be fair. But there's good ones out there, for sure. But they're not easy to find. And they're... Oh, you take care, Dicey's. Oh, yeah, this guy. He's in a hurry. I mean, to be fair, as we were talking about earlier, his speed limit here in the National on a single carriageway is going to be 60. Mine is 50. And admittedly, I'm not even doing 50 because, as you can tell, this is a windy road with a lot of undulation, and I'm driving a big old van with lots of stuff in the back that I don't want to knock over and have sprayed all in the back for when I'm pulling up. So I drive a bit like an old granny, and I take my bends in the road and my corners very slowly. No more unless she's super rich. I like that. Oh, dearie me. Oh, that's really cool, Travis. How long have you been together with your love? Yeah, this is one of the reasons I don't like this road too much for driving. It's quite bendy in this section. It gets better further up once you get past Flitwick and Ampthill, but this bit's quite bendy. And there are a lot of roundabouts, essentially, which is a little bit of annoying because I have to keep slowing down and speeding up. If I'd gone the 421, it's dual carriageway all without any stopping and any crazy curves or bends, all the way to the A1. Weirdly, the A1 has more junctions. It's a dual carriageway all the way down to Stockfold from there. It's not a motorway portion of the A1, it's just a dual carriageway section. So they have a lot of roundabouts. There's like, I'd be coming on at the Black Cat, so I'd have, there's one at Sandy, 2 at Biggleswade, and then I'd get to Stockfold. So it wouldn't be a huge amount of them. So it's just basically like 4 junctions essentially. The roundabout at the Black Cat to get from the 421 to the A1, and then the 3 more. But I'm not sure how easy it is to get southbound at the moment at the Black Cat roundabout, because they've been doing a lot of roadworks there, and sometimes it's been closed off, so you have to go up north to St Neots and then come back to get down, and you're not even on the A1 for a little bit of it, which is a bit weird. Since 1989, says Travis. That's really cool. Oh, howdy from the UK to is that Little Smoky? I think is. If I'm going to call you Smoky. Is that right? Yeah. Welcome to the UK stream here. Yeah. I guess this is something you don't have a lot of in your neck of the woods. All these roundabouts that I'm having to go over. You asked her out on a fishing date. Pretty cool. At 9 years old. Wow. And you've been together ever since? Oh, I've got to slow right down for this one. It's a proper go around this roundabout. There's no like cut the corner on this one. And that's pretty incredible, Travis. I will say that's incredible. Did you know, like as soon as you met her? I knew as soon as I met Fluff. I will be honest. I knew she was the one. It's like staring into the heart of a black hole. You're basically you can see if you've crossed that event horizon, there ain't no coming back. Kind of felt a bit like that. I could feel how I felt for her, and I could see that I wouldn't be able to hold back those feelings, and that there'd be no going back. Wow. I mean, you don't really need that wedding though when you've been together and you know you're the ones. You've never actually gone through a roundabout. Well, you're not supposed to drive through them, to be fair. You're supposed to drive around them, but you know, I'll let you off, seems out. You haven't actually gone around one before. Well, here's a treat for you. You get to watch it happen in the first person. It's pretty cool. I mean, 800 quid is a bit cheaper than mine, I'm going to be honest. It wasn't so bad a couple of years ago. I think I was on about 600 and something, I remember. But then it went up and then it went up again. And I think this year I paid 950. Admittedly, it's worth having. I actually got hit by a driver earlier this year, Dave. So at the start of February, I was parked up on a road, very safe road, 30-mile-an-hour zone, just literally meters from a school zone, because we were right by a school, a place where lots of people park up all of the time, well-known spot for being parked up at, well lit, straight road, no obstacles, no expectation of any danger at all. And I parked up my van, was going to go for a walk in the woods with my son. We're in the back, just grabbing a few bits before we jump out, and this fool hits the van around about 30, maybe a bit more, just slammed straight into the front of it, sent us back about 2.5 meters, absolutely wrecked the front of my van. And the insurance company were going to write it off, to be fair, and they tried to lowball me, and eventually they decided instead that I was right, the van was worth more than they said, and they'd instead of writing it off, they'd repair it because it was going to be cheap for them. So it was a pretty hectic couple of months, to be fair. Properly stressful. I don't think I've ever been that stressed in my life than when I was like pushed out of my home, had it taken away, watching my home get taken away by people, not knowing when it's going to come back. So awful a feeling, it really was. But it all did get sorted out, and I'll be honest, it's cost the insurance company a lot more money than I've ever given them, because they had to pay out for the replacement van to use, they had to pay out for a bed and breakfast to put me up in, and it had to be a room enough for me and my son. I mean, and then they've had to pay for the repairs, and there's going to be a whole lot of like, I don't know how much I'm going to get, but I'll get something for my injury claim, because I got injured, obviously. So yeah. 15th anniversary 3 days ago. Well done. Congratulations. Me and my ex made it a little over 15 years, and I'll be honest though, I would say less than half of those were happy. It's just the way it is sometimes. I have a feeling me and Fluff are going to have animal on the road. Ooh, I hope he was safe. Did we see that? Or a bunny rabbit? There wasn't much I could do, to be honest. But he was in the middle. I think if he was down, he's probably okay. Well, I still had to work, Travis, when the van was damaged, and then, as you might not know because you're new to the channel, basically normally I work 1 week on and 1 week off. So I'll have a week of work and then I have a week where I don't. And that was based around me having my boys every other week after the separation and the divorce. And then basically, like the week when I have the boys, I'd homeschool them. But then I don't have the boys anymore, and I've kind of just maintained that for now because it means that I've got time to do other things, and I don't really need to work that week, so it's just more time for myself. And obviously it's allowed me to come and do stuff like spend time with Fluff. When I was here, like I was only having one of my sons with me, the other one wasn't really staying with me because he'd gone back to full-time education, staying with his mum full-time. And so, but my youngest was still with me for like 1 week on, 1 week off. So basically 1 week I'd be working, the other week he'd be spending time with me. And we kind of just, we kept up with the bare minimum of his schoolwork, but we ended up just using it as a bit of like a, let's just go and do some fun stuff and try to not deal, because it was so stressful. It was like, I just want to do fun stuff with him so we can get away from the focus of how annoying and bad it was. Oh, we had a retracted message from somebody. I didn't see what that was. Hey, Lizzie's in. Hi, Lizzie. Good to see you. So yeah, I mean, the days were pretty much the same. Although, I will say this, Travis, I spent many a day dealing with the insurance company and other people on the phone trying to chase up about what was going on with the van. Oh, that was so stressful. That was so stressful. I mean, they properly just destroyed some of my days. It was so awful. And like every week I had to go back to them saying I need more money to cover for the B&B and stuff. It's just, they were properly bad, and they just stressed me out so much. I think realistically I need to make a claim against them just for the level of stress that they caused me. Oh, bumpy road. Lovely. This bit of road needs a repair. That does not sound good, Travis. But yeah, I'm with you there. I do not like the insurance companies. They could have dealt with it a bit swifter, but there was a lot of trying to lowball me and trying nasty tactics to just kind of get away without paying the right amount of money. It was just blimmin' awful. No, Dave, I'm just leaving Fluff's. I've been with her for quite a few weeks now, taking care of her and her boys. But now I've got to get back to do some work, so I am heading to Home Turf to do work, which I'm not happy about, to be fair. I think there is a limited amount of time that I'm going to be willing to keep driving away from her just to come and work over this way. Coming over to, like, if I was going over to see my boys, I'd already be there, because I've already gone past where they live. I'm having to go much further to get to where I'm working. Do I consider myself a handyman? Oh, definitely. I'm a jack of all trades. If it's broken and it's mechanical, I can fix it. If it's something on a house, something to do with the house, I can make it work, and I can repair it. I mean, I could build a house from top to bottom, scratch, no problem. I have all the skills I need for all sorts of stuff. Hence being able to convert a van myself entirely. You know, I built my shed at my allotment. That's got a full power system and running water and all sorts of stuff in it. It's it's not something I'm shy away from. A little bit of skilled labour and stuff. What about yourself, Travis? I'm not sure what kind of handy you're referring to here, Fluff. Hope you're keeping this PG. Wow, really, Dave? That's impressive. I have a half load size, so it's like 3.5 kilo. It's like a wall-mounted one, because obviously that's the best for water saving, for water efficiency. Yeah, mine's from South Korea. I think it's like I think it might be LG. I think it might be made by LG. People who make the TVs. Yeah, it's a wicked little machine. How do you get for a full machine though? That's a lot of water. How do you carry around that much? Do you plug in to make the machine work? I considered this as an option when I'm plugged in if I had a full machine. To be fair, like, I can probably just use Fluffs now, but which I did do for my towels actually when I was there. Travis is really good with leather and wood. That's cool. That's cool. I've never done any leather work, to be fair. But I've always been very interested in that. I think that looks very cool, people making stuff from leather. Oh no, I do my pretty much all my washing in the van. It's doable. But yeah, it's nice every now and then to use a full machine. I've got a hello from somebody new. Hello back. Can't quite read your name at the moment. So what kind of stuff do you make out of leather and wood then, Travis? That does sound interesting. Saddles. For leather and bookshelves for wood. Oh, so you make saddles. Now they cost a lot of money if I'm right. That's not a cheap item. There must be good money in that. The bookshelves, probably not so much, I would have thought. Although you probably sell more bookshelves than you do saddles, but I don't know. I don't know how that works. So that's my questions, I suppose. Which one earns you the most money? I'll be honest, as soon as you said saddles, I figured it was for an income. I couldn't imagine somebody making a saddle for a hobby. Because that's an incredibly skilled bit of work there, I will say. To make a good one, you know, one that's going to do the job properly, that's a skillful bit of work there, and you've got to have all the right tools and know how to use them. I mean, whew. So the bookshelves you make most with. Okay, I guess, like I say, it's the amount, it's the number of them that you make. I suppose you probably sell more then. Yes, Wayne. I'm well, brother. How are you doing? Oh, are we seeing this? What is that? Can you see that in the sky? What is causing that orange colour? Yeah, you can see that on the thing, right? So I think that's something lighting up the clouds. That's not the moon, is it? Because it's orange. What is that? Is there a fire? Ugh. That looks odd. What are you thinking about this, guys? What do we think this is? That's a great idea, Travis. Online store would be wicked. There's a light up there, I swear. But that can't be the moon, right? Because that's orange. Doesn't feel like that's the moon. Maybe it is. It might be. Is that it peeking out over a cloud there now? What is that the moon? That is weird. How is that the moon? How is that the colour of the moon right now? Whoa. That is a very odd perspective over there. You not see that above the cars in front? There's like an orange patch. It's not quite the same as it is for me. It always like looks different on. But yeah, it's. I think it is the moon. But it just looks so weird. Like it's just so orange and weird. It's hidden behind the trees now. when we go over the flyover here. You might see it. Interesting fact about this flyover, I have slept underneath this for stealth camp. Yeah, here we go, it is the moon. Look at that. Woo! That's a bit of a view in front. Can't lie. It's, do you know what it is? It's because it's on the it's close to the horizon, so it's big and it's really orange. So you're looking for a lot of atmosphere. It looks crazy because it's not even a full moon. I mean, that properly looks like somebody plonked a new planet in the solar system and they put it a bit too close to us. That is crazy. It looks quite big on camera as well. Can't lie, that's slightly freaking me out. I'm heading back to Stockfolds because I've got work there tomorrow. Wayne. Well, if Vic was here, he'd be telling us all about it. He'd know all the details about why the moon looks like that. Oy, 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 oy. I'm going to go through, so most of the time I go around, but I'm feeling a bit laggy. So I'm going to go through the town here. It could be interesting. We could see more of this moon. It's just to the left up there. Oh, it looks massive. That is crazy. It looks giant. It's to the left of what you're seeing. It's getting more and more left. You can see it just there at the edge of the screen. About to go. It looks massive. I mean, it looks like something you see where someone's drawn a new planet. It doesn't look like the moon. It looks like a giant planet. That is mad. And it's the way that it's like a half moon or so, or just over a half moon. And it feels like it's kind of like coming through a portal. Just the way, the colour of it and the shape of it, just feels like it's just like coming out of a portal. So you're kind of seeing it halfway out. Oh, looks like something from Final Space. I thought we were talking about this before, Travis. I'm a window cleaner. Maybe it was before you came in. I don't know. Well, I suppose Vic can be short for Victoria, but I suppose it's also short for other things like Victor. So I think Vic is just a shortening. It is quite a nice. It's a nice moon, but it's just freaking me out a little bit just because it looks a bit freaky. So quite often I avoid going through the town here, just because you've got the lights, but also it's 20 miles an hour, and there's speed bumps. But like, yeah, I'm lagging. I'm getting a little bit sleepy, so I'm like, I want to just get there and not do any more of the fast, easy roads, because I could do the 507 bypass to go around here and come back in the other sides. But this is actually marginally faster. But because of the speed bumps, I often avoid it. I prefer to avoid speed bumps in the van. There you go, there's that moon again. See it just above the houses there. Oh, it's so weird. My steering wheel doesn't feel right anymore because I'm used to the one in Fluff's car. I'm starting to get used to it again, but every now and then I'll do a move with it, like when I'm turning it a lot, and I'm just like, oh my lord, it feels so weird. Right, this is where we find out if we have a usual spot or not. It's been a minute since we've been back. Yeah, I always notice it when it's been a while since I've been back at a place. I really do. Well, there's cars there up the other bit, but we have this end is okay, so we're just gonna park on this end of things. That's okay, ain't nothing wrong with that. We're gonna reverse it in. I think that is me about there. Looks good to me. Let's spin you guys around. Put some lights on so you can see me. Alright, there we go. Hey. Woo! Job's a good one. We have arrived. Yeah, I've done some tours in some of my live streams, Dave, for the van. But there's also videos on my channel, and there's one with a thumbnail you can sort of see the van in it, and then I actually do a tour of it, but that's back from like well over a year ago, and a few things have changed. But early on in the live streams, so if you go back to some of the early days, there were definitely a few live streams where I showed it off there. Yeah, so you can have a little look around. But if you're interested, if you've subbed and you come back another day, Dave, I'm more than happy to give you a little show around the van and chit chat about van life stuff. It's certainly a topic that we cover from time to time when I have people who are interested in it on the channel. So yeah, just by all means, pop on in and you know, I'll give you a little look around. Have you ever had a knock? What do you mean by a knock? Do you mean someone knocking on the door or what? No, this is just a random place where I'll be working, Travis. It's a spot right next to the council building. So the people of the town council literally work just there. And this has been a spot we've parked in for, like, I've been parking in this spot for probably well over 4 years. And quite often when it was a family affair, we would spend like a week or more here just parked up. Yeah, but we don't create mess. We're always very polite with everyone, so no one ever bothers us. It's all good. No, I do not own a house or a flat, Travis. I own my van, that's that. Hello, Fluff. Oh dear. Oh, you mean someone knocking my van? Well, yeah. I mean, interestingly, before we started, I assumed people would probably like do a bit of like knockdown ginger, you know, just walk along the side, bang, 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 and run off. We've only had that twice, and I think, to be honest, when they did it, because I've gone out and looked at them, they weren't running off. I just don't think they realised there was anybody in there, and they were just arbitrarily just sort of like tapping the side of the van. We've had things nicked. I tell you, there's been some thievery. People like thieving all sorts of stupid stuff, like some of the kids' toys. We used to have a basket out the back that would be under the van. And the boys had their footballs and things and that in them. And we've had a step stolen, that sort of thing. Yeah, weird stuff. Just odd. Yeah, I mean, I've had like people from the council come over and knock and sort of ask us like what we're doing there, that sort of thing. Different councils. The ones here, so it'd be the county council who come by and do that here. I used to have the guy's number, Ian, who used to run that section. We used to have each other's number, and he would just like contact me if it sounded like it was going to be me, because he wouldn't bother coming over because he was like not interested. He's like, yeah, sure, if it's you, it's not a problem, because he knew that we were going to move on, and it's not like other travellers and stuff who were going to like try to be somewhere they're not supposed to be and parked up for a long time. It's like I'm only going to be there for a short period of time. We were at Axminster one time, and the council member from there came and knocked and sort of he was really polite. He was just like making sure we were okay and that we had everything we wanted. He actually took some of our rubbish away for us, which was quite handy because it was like the food waste stuff that I'd normally compost at my allotment, but I wasn't anywhere near my allotment because we were doing a South Coast tour, and it was getting a bit grim because we put it in a bag and it was like, oh, that was no good. We need to bring a proper bucket with a sealed lid next time. But that was back when we had a car and the van. Now it's just me and the van, so it's all a bit different. Thank you, Fluff. Glad I arrived safely as well. I will be signing off in a second. It's just nice to have a little chit chat with everyone. So it is a special moon tonight, Wayne. That's good to know. We'll do. If you're back another time, Dave, we'll do a little bit more back and forth chit chat about the van stuff and that. You can tell me if you've ever been knocked on your van as well. But you might be able to tell I am shattered now and I'm a bit sleepy, so it's time for me to head off and get some rest because I want to be up and early for my work tomorrow. Oh, plenty of AdBlue issues. Don't even talk to me about AdBlue, Dave. Honestly. Oh. I've got the warning light on right now saying I need to fill it up, but I'm waiting until it gets near the bottom because I'm hoping that like a full replacement of that stuff will help it out. I get temporary issues in the winter, but we'll get on to another time. Oh, I see. So the DJ is the David James. Oh, I like that. But Travis, I like that. I can see why you might have gone for Travis. Has been what you get called. It's been great talking to you guys. It really has. Fist bump to both of you, both Dave and Travis, and Wayne as well. A fist bump for you too, my friend. Fantastic. Thanks for being along on the journey. You've obviously made it go a lot quicker than it would have done without you guys. So much appreciated. And great to see some new people in. Hope you've subscribed and you hit that bell so that you know when I'm streaming, because I'd stream at weird times. So, excuse me. Bell on, and I'll see you fairly soon because obviously I'm here every day doing something wrong. Yeah, in the meantime, have fun.